Shut up, bitch.
What's up, everybody? I hope my mic's on. Yes, it is on. How is everybody today? I just thought I'd jump in here and just do like a chill stream today because it's been a while since I've had my stream. I just been jumping on everybody else's and just kind of, weighing in on the things that are going on. But I was like, you know what? I haven't come and given my opinion on my own platform. So here I am, and thanks everybody that is joining. That's going to maybe be joining in the panel as well. But yeah, so without further ado, I wanted to discuss the Vanity Fair article that came out with concerning Zack Snyder, the casting of Supergirl for the Flash film, and what else? I know there was something else. I'm sure there is, but I'll cover that too, whatever that is. So how are you guys doing? Oh, before I get into that, before I get into to everything else, I have been, I don't want to say attacked, but representatives from a certain company have been taking down some of the shirts that I've been putting up. And the only reason why I make the shirts is because you can't find them anywhere. If you go to a comic book shop, or if you go to, the interwebs and try to find these shirts, if you go to like a DC product store or anything like that, you can't find the shirts that you see me wear on my streams. I originally started making them for myself and then also for my kids, just because we like showcasing the the different characters and things like that. We just like wearing the emblems on our chest. So I got this bad boy here. Is that a hair? Yeah. And this is something I got from the Ink to the People, and it's awesome. But the other stuff that I wear, it's on my site. So there, a lot of those things have been taken down. They did take down some of the ones that they shouldn't have taken. So I've re-upped them. But if you are, you know what I mean, it's awesome if you're a patron. It's awesome, I don't have membership yet, but I mean, if it's awesome if you do that kind of stuff. But I would rather people go and get a shirt. That way, it's yours. You can wear it. You know where you got it from. And I think the reason why they're taking my designs down is because they're really freaking accurate. Because I go back to the site, to TeePublic, to Teespring, and I see a lot of other designs that have been there before mine, and somehow mine are targeted. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So if you have a design that you want, chances are I've already made it. It's just been taken down. There's a lot of stuff that's been taken down. So if you want it, hit me up. Let me know you're ready to purchase. I'll put it up. You purchase it. I'll take it right back down, because if I keep putting it back up, they'll catch on to that. And I've gotten one of those notices as well. So if there's any superhero shirt that you would like to purchase, from either TeePublic or Teespring, it's your preference, whichever quality you're akin to or you prefer. Hit me up, DM me, let me know. My DM is open to the public. So without further ado, let me get into some of the comments that we have in here today, and find out who else here. So let's see. What's up? So it's Mr. Steve Cassan's here. Thanks for being in the building. John Cena is here. We got Arkham Gaming. I see you have a couple questions, but I'll come back to that. I just want to say hello to everybody. We got Jacob Ludi is in the house. Andrew Casali. We got, of course, Retro Game. We have Brian, who's in the back. I'm going to bring him out. And we have Retro Grave Productions. Is that? Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. That's still Steve Cassan. You changed your emblem. What does that say? Wasted, because the YouTube icon's in the way. We're wearing the same thing. Yeah, hey man, that's awesome, dude. I love this shirt. Let's see, thoughts on well, I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it as soon as Matt gets here. Because I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday. I know that Dawson did a show on it, and I haven't watched it. So say Snyder Steppenwolf, hey, what's up? Let's see, and everybody else I have addressed so far. So let me go ahead and bring in Brian, Master of None. Let me fix this. Are you? I can't hear you.
Good evening.
Oh,
Good evening.
there you go. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, it's not much, man. Just hanging out.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
Link came in, said, "What's up, man?"
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming by. Like I
Yeah,
said, I have
absolutely.
not seen the the Superman and Lois. And what it was, is it a 2 hour show or 90
Hour and a half.
minutes?
Hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So interesting. That's cool. That's cool. And what are your non-spoilery thoughts? Did you like what you saw?
Well, okay. So this is the first ever show I've seen on like broadcast television
Yeah.
and any of the CW stuff. So I was just kind of catching it on a whim, and I've always been a huge Superman fan. So like,
Yeah.
I really dug it, man. I really did. I think it's kind of cool that they're doing the family situation.
Yeah.
With the twins and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. They're twins. I didn't know.
I think it's going to be. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. God
No,
damn
no,
it.
no. Yeah. Oh no, they're twins. What? No,
I didn't.
I'm still gonna watch
Trying
it.
not to nicotine
I'm,
you here.
I'm not like Mad Max. I'm not gonna boot you. So
No, but honestly, all in all, it was really good. And for
Yeah.
somebody that's really not watched any of it, I dug it, man. I'm waiting for the next episode.
Awesome. So well, that's really cool. So Arkham Gaming had a question. Let me jump back up to it. He says, how are you? How are you doing? Isn't it a little weird that a lot of DC movies and shows are filming in April now that Black Adam is going? Now Black Adam is going to be doing that. I'm happy, but it looks like an April Fool's. Or no, I'm sorry. It looks like April is going to be full for DC. Yes, it definitely will. You got two projects that I know of, like you mentioned, Black Adam, but then also the Flash. But let me before I get into this question here, let me let me introduce. Oh, look,
Hello.
Mr. Justice Con. Is that Justice Con 1 or 2?
This is obviously just a 1.
Okay, gotcha.
There's no 2 there. So
okay. Well, hey,
guys?
what's up? So, you saw the show. I haven't watched your review of the Superman and Lois because I don't want to watch it until I've seen it myself. What are your initial thoughts of it?
My initial general thoughts, without going into spoiler territory, is I think they did a good job of kind of utilizing the tones of different Supermen in live action and combining them into one. Like they took elements of the Christopher Reeve Clark Kent. They took elements of like Zack Snyder's style of cinematography and visualization. They took some elements from Smallville as well. So like I feel like this is it's a kind of Superman show, at least for the first episode, right? Because we get to see the rest of the series.
Like it's just a collage. It just kind of touches everything, and it's just your
I feel like
everyman Superman.
Pretty much. I mean, it covers all those different basics. So like I think people from all sides can enjoy it to a certain degree. You know.
Okay.
And it was quality too. Like there's a lot of quality in it.
For the CW, it's very
cool. One question that I had is does this connect to the CW universe, like that Superman, or is this sort of a reintroduction of the Tyler Hoechlin persona or character?
I feel like it's kind of both. I mean, it does like hint at things that happen in the Arrowverse, but at the same time, it looks like they're really focusing just on Clark and Lois and their family. I mean, they hint at certain characters every now, like they hinted at one character during the episode, but like overall, I feel like they're just gonna make this one stand on its own, which I think is a good idea. So yeah, so far it's just kind of on its own thing.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, I want to bring this in real quick. This isn't some sort of what is it, PR? But I wanted to share with you guys this application. No, not application. We'll get to that in a minute. Share. Okay. So here is the store. I've never actually shown this on stream. I just kind of figured, hey, everybody can kind of have a look at it or whatever. So let me add this. So there you go. This is what you see when you go to the TeePublic store. I have most of my designs on TeePublic because Teespring is a little bit more meticulous about uploading to their site. So as you can see here, when I get back to it, okay, so I just put this up today, Reverse Flash. I thought that was kind of creative. Yeah. And then these are the different letters that they took down. I'm like, you can't take that down. That's something that is not copyrighted. I made my own. All of these letters I designed myself.
Well, is it the shield that's the copyrighted thing? 'Cause,
You
like, I
can't
feel like
you can't copyright a diamond.
Yeah, that's a
You
diamond shape with
I guess
yellow
that's fair.
inside. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, so I mean, the only one I don't have up here is the S because that of course is
Right.
copyrighted. But yeah, I mean,
I like
like
that
I have the
though. That's
Flash
pretty
on
sweet.
there. I got Action Comics. That's really smurfed up. Blue Beetle, Huntress, Hal Jordan.
I like that.
the
Hal
the
Jordan.
Ghostbusters. I got Hot Rod, Who Farted from Revenge of the Nerds 2. I got Mumra. I've got those icons. If you remember Transformers, like you had to press your thumb down to reveal if it was an Autobot or a Decepticon. So I kind of remade those stickers, and you can put that on that's on your person. So I made a translucent Ghostbuster symbol, and I made one here. I'll click on this one where you can see the back. So I thought that was cool. So it's front and back on that particular shirt. I got one that's only front. Black Adam, of course, Zeeverfett, Task Force. I got. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff that they've taken off. I made the Argus symbol. I mean, that was meticulous. I got the Snyder cut here. Let me click on this one, where you see the different, like they took this one down. I mean, they took a lot of these things down, and it's fine,
right,
because they own them. But the only problem is that they don't sell it to where anybody, and that's a different Justice League. I did this for people who don't get the black and white shirts, but also if you can see the Justice symbol is different. So I didn't want to tread on that. So this is just a variance for people who wanted color shirts. I got all this, the lanterns, Justice League, Booster Gold. I took a lot of the inspiration from Captain Amazing from the Mystery Men for Booster Gold. So it's like, a lot of Soda Cola, Jitters, Stag Stop, Big Belly Burger, LexCorp, Taco Wiz from Wonder Woman franchise.
Taco Wiz.
Ghostbusters, I put Slimer behind it. Super
Nice.
Dad, the Flash Museum, of course, Lambda, Blaum. I got Blaum on here. So be loving and open-hearted with my emotions. So I mean, it's very positive, very positive. You've got Dink Dink, which everybody can, if you're a Spaceballs fan, you can definitely get down with that. Now this here, which I wanted to talk about today, which is Blue Beetle. So I've got Blue Beetle, but I also made this icon, which I thought was a little bit. I tried to go very Aztec with the motif, so I really wanted to make it. That's the Blue Beetle outline, but then on the inside, I wanted to kind of give it some depth, and so I thought that was really cool. Make it glow and make it interesting. So there's Mad Matt. That's one of his logos. What is that? Greatest American Hero. There's some more of the different letters that I made. And with the letters, I tried to make them look, because if you look online, a lot of the diamond letters, it looks like they're just like a font, and somebody just kind of typed it in. Well, with these, I created the shapes to make it look or marry well with the S shape. So if you find yours like nerdy in many ways, like there you go, or Dawson, if you stood those next to the Superman S, you can tell that it's probably roughly around maybe the same font or font style. I've got the Doomsday. I drew that out myself. That's why I have it on Star Labs, and I have it on the Green Lantern logo, and I also have it on Warner Brothers, because screw Warner Brothers. So yeah, I mean, I just Nuclear Man from Superman 4, everyone's beloved.
Everyone loves that guy.
Everyone loves it. No Ma'am from the Bundys.
How hard was that?
Yeah. I got Ultraman in the three different styles of Ultraman. So those are the three different iterations. One's a cartoon, one's the comic, and the other one is the new 52 version. And then of course all the lanterns, Spider-Man. I mean, and these are my interpretations right here of the different lanterns. If they were actually like 3D physical lanterns on your person, what would they look like instead of just a symbol? What would they look like if they were an actual lantern that you would, that you'd wear? But there's many more. But I just kind of wanted to touch on that just because I know there's a lot of people that probably haven't check the site out, or maybe aren't aware of it. I mean, I pop up that one image, and I hope that people, go check it out. But I mean, this one here that here it is, that I always pop up. These are the two places that you can go. Teespring has certain things that TeePublic doesn't have, and vice versa. So if you are a fan and you love wearing this stuff and showing, people out there as you're walking around, now wearing your masks. I mean, like your Justice Con shirt, I mean, you go in your Nimwa hats.
I wear this bad boy at the grocery store,
represent. Man. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just, that's what I provided for myself. And I was like, you know what, not just should I, make this available for myself and my kids, but I was like, let me make it available for other DC fans, other people that might be interested in that. So here's a better look at it. I think that was, I was pretty pleased with the way it turned out. And then here it is. Screw Warner Brothers.
That's nice.
But yeah, so I guess the biggest news that we haven't really talked about would be this, the Blue Beetle. Right. And there was an actor that was vying for the role last year. I want to say in May, which would be Christian. What was his last name? Navarro. And he, I think, is an older person. I'm looking toward like a younger, sort of teenager, esque, kind of like they did with Shazam. They got the kids that are, definitely, I'm like, now they're going to film Shazam 2. I think they're going to be 19 years old, but they're still young. And I think that, again, it would be interesting, and maybe they're doing this because I don't know the production company that's going to be taking this over, if it's Warner Brothers Pictures or if it's New Line Cinema with Warner Brothers. Or, because I mean, if they do that, then it would be interesting to see like the Shazam kids interacting with this other kid, Blue Beetle, and sort of like. And in
the article where they talked about the director, like the only thing that I saw them talking about was Warner Brothers. So I'm gonna lean more towards like them just simply doing it with Warner Brothers Pictures. Yeah, but
now it could be that this is a one-off. It could be that it's not connected to anything; it's only connected to itself. But again, it all depends on the reception of this. If the reception of this is good, then they're going to want to add that to it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to want to add elements. It might not directly connect like Shazam. Like Shazam, I would think is after Justice League 3.
Yeah.
And this could also be after Justice League 3, but it's still sort of, that Superman exists. Ben Affleck was in that world. As his version of Bruce. What are you guys' thoughts?
You want to go first, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, if and when everything is going to turn out great for this movie, then I'm pretty sure that the connectivity is going to kind of get better. Or I mean, it's going to get deeper.
I hope so.
Because, well, I mean, the thing about it is I just don't. I don't like that kind of movie style where it's like just one-offs all over the place. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to have some kind of, connective tie that drives a long-form story. I mean, unfortunately, that's just kind of the way we're accustomed to ingesting stories now. You know what I mean?
We've been slowly cultivated to accept these types of universe connecting stories. Versus like a Joker film here, a Shazam film here, a Superman or Man of Steel film here that's not connected to anything else, and that's kind of jarring for a lot of fans because they want that connectivity. They want to eventually see these guys interact. So I think that can still happen. Okay, so for example. Let's jump over to the Flash movie, right? But before we do that, I'm so sorry, Dawson. Give me your take on what you're expecting from the Blue Beetle franchise.
I think as of right now, if it's just Warner Brothers Pictures behind this, I think as of right now they're planning on this being on its own thing and trying to separate it because we do know from Deborah Snyder that Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich do want to do their own thing over Warner Brothers. But again, like you said, Ryan, if there's if there's a success we expect to see for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and people demand more and more connectivity to that and everything like that, you can expect them to at least try to connect it in some way. But considering the fact that the director they've penned, Angel Manuel Soto, is not necessarily a superhero director yet, he hasn't really done anything like that. He's done more like one-off movies and stuff like that. So I'd expect him to treat it mentally like a one-off or like its own thing.
Well, it could be, but it was the same thing with that the lady that took up the mantle for Birds of Prey. She'd never done. Well, I mean, she was really wet behind the ears. She'd never really done anything other than indie movies. And so I think that's why she gets a lot of criticism, because she just wasn't a proven director. I think that a more seasoned director could have made a more enriching film in that film. I'm totally not against a female-led, cast or anything like that. I just, like I said on somebody else's stream, I was like, if you'd taken Ben Affleck and plopped him in the middle of Birds of Prey, could these other characters stand next to him and say, okay, you're on par with me? We could like Huntress and Batman. Could you ever see them go and patrol Gotham together as you would in the comic books? Not that version. Could you see Birds of the other girl, the Black Canary? Like, could you stand her next to Batman? Could you stand the little pickpocket girl who's supposed to grow up to be Batgirl? I mean, even Victor Zsasz. Could you put Victor Zsasz and say, you know what, you are a threat to Ben Affleck's Batman?
Not really.
I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that version of Victor Zsasz would be a direct threat to Ben Affleck's Batman. Same thing with Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Ben Affleck's Batman would mop the floor with that guy.
Yeah, even if he had the high ground.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, anyway, for my viewers came in and listening to us, thank you so much for being here. Please smash the like button. Also, if you can, jump over on Twitter, open up a new window. Don't close this one. Open up Twitter and just like and share the broadcast, because this was an impromptu stream. Not a lot of people, I'm sure, are aware when I usually have at least a day or two or whatever. A lot more people are aware of the stream. So and I appreciate you guys for coming on last minute as well.
No worries.
So
you only paid me, so
I have paid you. I have already paid. You're on lease. So so in the same vein, I'm cool with like directors having their own versions of the actors. Like this actress here that was just cast, Sasha Calle. I believe it's pronounced
Calle. Calle.
Like Calle. And then also, this lady here who was being sought after or being eyed by Zack Snyder, like for Supergirl. Are these two different versions of Supergirl? Are these two different universes? Would casting Sasha mandate that Zack Snyder, if he were to use Supergirl or talk about the open casket or open
pod,
the open pod from the scout ship, would he have to use her if he's going to go ahead and dive into a Kara-El story, or is he free to hire whoever he'd like? So thoughts on that? We'll start with Brian again.
I don't mind the casting. I think it's great. I mean, I'm not too hung up on appearance as far as a portrayal of a character. I mean, as long as it looks good and the story's nice. That once again, it all depends on how the reception for the Snyder Cut's going to be, because I think if it's gangbusters and certain people realize they made a mistake, and then they maybe start going, not necessarily overcorrecting back in the other direction, but kind of nudging the bus back that way.
Well, I think that a big factor in that is it's ego. I think that ego is playing a big role in Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada and that regime. Is that even if the Snyder Cut is
the Snyder
Snyder Cut, even if it is uber successful, their ego will not allow them to, take a bow and say, I was wrong. I was mistaken. Let's double down on this because this seems to be this seems to be fertile ground.
Mm-hmm.
Dawson.
Well, in regards to the Supergirl casting, would Zack be forced to? I think the thing is this: if Zack Snyder is brought back to do Justice League 2 and 3, like we think he will be, I think AT&T and HBO Max will just say like, "Hey, we know you've been meddled with a lot. Why don't you cast who you want if he ends up using a Supergirl?" Because again, they've seen how bad it ends up being when the studio really meddles with him. Like, yes, give him some ideas here and there. Like yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff happens. But I think he'd be allowed to cast his own Supergirl because, again, they want to do the whole like multiverse thing, and they can use that as a justification. And again, this whole Sasha Calle Supergirl could be a different version for all we know. Like, I don't think that's
exactly.
I don't think it'd be too big of a thing to like cast your own Supergirl. I think fans will be able to handle it just fine. And if not, then like do your research of the multiverse because it's a thing. And as far as like the ego of the studio executives, like, at that point, if the Snyder Cut is super successful, I don't think it matters whether or not they humble up or not. I think AT&T would just simply come crashing down on them and say like, "Hey, you messed up. So here's the thing: we're doing this on HBO Max. You can suck it, basically, because this is what we're doing." And
they're like,
"Shut up, bitch."
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, that's essentially what they're gonna do if that ends up being successful, because they're just like, we're gonna do it. I don't care what you guys are doing over there. Do your own thing. Obviously, you don't know what you're doing, but we're gonna do HBO Max and Justice League 2 and 3 over here.
Yeah. So, do you think that aside from Justice League 2 and 3, do you think that HBO Max would greenlight any other properties to be released solely on their platform to connect to the Snyderverse, or do you think that it's their only focus is on what's working, which is possibly this?
So I think we talked about the HBO Max Batfleck series. They'll announce that and they'll release that. Then David Ayer's Suicide Squad, which I think is a foregone conclusion. And there'll be a couple things here and there on HBO Max that they'll want to try to connect to some degree. And of course, they don't need Zack to like direct everything, and he probably doesn't want to direct everything because he's got other things going on, like again the Army of the Dead prequel, and the Army of the Dead anime, which I'm so freaking stoked
and
for.
The Camelot Excalibur thing.
King Arthur thing, which I'm so freaking stoked for that as well. I mean, Zack Snyder doing a mythological story. I mean, sign me up. That's exactly his style. So I think they'll try to, and a
lot of people missed that the little piece in Vanity Fair when he was talking about how Ben Affleck was going to fall in love with Lois Lane, or with Amy Adams, Lois Lane, and that's very King Arthur, Lancelot, and Guinevere. That's sort of dynamic where a King Arthur, Superman, feels betrayed by the Dark Knight who killed him. Or didn't kill him, but I mean, set this stuff up,
caused his death essentially.
Exactly, sort of played a hand in unbeknownst to him, but helped play a hand in sort of setting up the chess table that Lex Luthor was putting together. Only to find out that he took his girl. That's very interesting. It's very interesting.
There's a whole other dynamic to it.
Yeah. Thoughts.
Well, I mean, I think that there's definitely going to be a home for it on HBO Max, and I could see Snyder, with as busy as it is, maybe coming back as like almost
executive
like a
producer.
Executive producer with more of a hands in creative to kind of guide the story the way he wants it to continue, bringing in other directors and writers and everything to tie it up and continue certain aspects of it completely separate from it. And I think it can work because right now they don't have like a Mandalorian, you know what I mean, or a show that's going to catch the eyes of the nerds,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them if they keep the production quality up, which is going to be difficult, and then keeping talent on, which is also probably going to be another issue with contracts and stuff like that. I imagine that's going to be a whole can of worms, bringing certain people back, and then because a lot of them have moved on to other things as far as like acting and stuff like that. So I can imagine it being a little bit of a nightmare, but if they do, that's where the home of it's going to be. And honestly, I think it's going to be great because, like I said, it could be like that Mandalorian show that everybody just gets it for that.
Mm-hmm.
So Kinky actually brings up a pretty interesting point.
What's up, Kinky?
It just kind of kind of caught my eye. I hate the that Lois and Bruce storyline. The way that Zach set up Lois, she'd never do that. That's hoe.
Well, here's
the
thing.
Show.
Here's the thing about that is that in the article, it never said that Lois reciprocated Bruce's feelings. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It never said that she also was felt attraction to Bruce. It said that she was still hung up on Clark, which makes sense.
Sure.
So I think it's just simply a crush one way, and that Bruce kind of feels some glimmer of hope because of his feelings for Lois Lane, and therefore it's more of a sacrifice for him. Because again, Lois Lane still loves Clark, right? She still loves Clark, and when he comes back, like obviously it's him handing her off to Clark, right? So
but
I think that's
also Clark is dead in her eyes. And also in Bruce's eyes, he doesn't know that he can resurrect him. So their paradigm is that, life goes on, and yes, you're going to be in mourning. No, I don't think she's the hoe. But I mean, you have to look at, they also did the same thing or similar with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman has had, feelings toward Batman. Wonder Woman has had feelings toward Superman.
I'm just saying, I'm not a big fan of Wonder Bat. Not a fan of that one.
Right. I mean, but see, the thing is that Lois Lane and Superman is sort of ingrained in everyone, right?
Right.
And Wonder Bat, as you put it, is also, it's a different facet of it, right? So it's happened before. It has, it was in the cartoon series, and also in the comics. It's these things can happen. It brings a new dynamic to storytelling, to where it doesn't just get stale. Or Clark can only have one of three women in his life, or same thing with Batman. He can only have Catwoman, Talia, and Vicky Vale.
Right.
And that's it. It's like it can be a little bit more organic than that. It can be things can blossom, develop, and then not pursue. No, and I don't believe that from the way that Zach has been talking about Catwoman, Selena Kyle, I don't believe that he would have actually gone that route anyway with Lois, because Bruce is not going to marry Catwoman. He's not going to walk down the aisle with Alfred, standing there or elope or anything like that.
At least not this Bruce.
Not this Bruce. This Bruce is hella jaded. Even after all this has happened and he sees the folly of his ways with Calle and all that, and recognizing his humanity or whatever. I don't think that he would do a 360 or. He'd do a 180 and say, you know what, now I've got a reason to live, and that's why I don't see him pursuing both that's okay. Both Selena or Lois or Talia or anybody, he's just gonna he's gonna do the whole bachelor thing and they're gonna, knock boots and that's it. He's gonna get his and she's gonna get hers. And that's sort of how I see them going, because they don't have that extra desire to sort of create a relationship that's going to sustain because of the life he's chosen and because of the life she's chosen. And I see the same thing with Lois Lane. I don't see her, sort of marrying Bruce, but it's kind of like what's that movie, Wedding Crashers, with Will Ferrell. He's like, yeah, go to the funerals, girls is easy there, so that's a good place to pick up girls. So that it could be that she's sort of feeling like I this has been taken from me and I have a ring, but I want to get sort of that pick me up, mentally. emotionally. And so she would use Bruce for an evening. And then if you look at that other shirt that Zach did, where it had like the bat and then the sperm underneath it and then the baby, it could be that the baby that Lois has isn't Cal's. It was actually Bruce's. And Cal has to raise Bruce's baby.
That's a thought.
And that's why he's also named Bruce, middle name.
Yeah.
So that could be the whole setup right there that he was giving us because of the whole, Excalibur thing. That's where he was kind of going, where it was a one-off. It wasn't that they developed feelings and were like, this is a family, we're going to do this. And then after she, does what she does, Superman's resurrected. She really didn't do anything wrong. So Cal can't really fault her for being in the arms of another man. So that's an interesting concept. And 90% of the time I'm right. So
I've always been
pretty good
interested in like the Elle McPhersons. You know what I mean? The ones that are like, they're there, the Russian ballerina, where the bachelor Batman, but I mean, he's older, tired, little worn around the edges. So, I mean, basically anybody who they shack him up with will be all right. It'd be kind of weird about the whole, Lois and Bruce thing, but
I can just see, just like in BVS where he had Ben Affleck and the booty shot in the shower. I think you would have the same sort of thing where they're in some place and he's it's kind of, it would be very reminiscent of when Lancelot and Guinevere wake up and the sword is there, the sword from the stone. It would be like the kryptonite spear or something is right there.
Yeah.
That's
just to kind of remind him that
that Cal knows.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that Cal knows. And then so they go through this whole thing, with Darkseid and all that, and they prevail. Batman does the ultimate sacrifice at the end. Cal still loves Lois. Lois still loves Cal, but she's also pregnant, and she has the baby, and Clark was an adopted child, so he's going to adopt this child. And Zack Snyder is all about adoption because he's got a lot of kids that he's adopted, and that was one of the things from Man of Steel when Kevin Costner was like, when the young kid from Teen Wolf was like, can I just pretend to be your son? He's like, you are my son. It was that same sentiment that I can see Clark mirroring sort of for the other kid, even though the other kid's going to be a baby. But that's sort of, this is my son.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but like that'd be an interesting thing to explore for sure.
Yeah, no, I just came up with that. No, I'm joking.
I sense another what if video coming.
There you go. I mean, that would be the ultimate what if as far as like following a narrative that was set up by and was influenced. I mean, Zack Snyder's heavily influenced by the Excalibur movie.
Yeah.
So if you mirror some of those things, to parallel some of those situations, you'll find out, that's probably where he wanted to go. And the studio and Jeff Johns, a lot of them were probably like, nah, don't, we're not going that route. That's why they nixed it. That's, you're going to make, there was a lot of things. There was that one line of it's going, there was going to be riots in the street if he did something. And it wasn't just killing Lois, because honestly, if they killed Lois, I could care less. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But if Batman had if Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane had a kid together and Cal had to raise it, that would be more of like, you just ruined my whole lore or childhood or whatever. And that would cause riots. as far as like mental riots. Nobody's gonna really riot.
Right.
But thoughts, Brian?
But no, I mean, if you base it off of Mallrats, I don't think Kal-El can actually father a child for Lois.
He did in Superman Returns.
He didn't have his. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he did it in Superman Lois.
And he was playing that song. But no, all it needs to do is get real meta and then wrap up at the end with Maury Povich with the manila envelope.
Yeah.
Bruce and Cal sitting on the thing.
Batman, you are the father. Like, what?
Oh, no!
The machine told us that was a lie.
So it does bring credence to that other line that Alfred spoke when Bruce was at Lex's party. It's like, maybe you'll meet a lady from Gotham, or no, I'm sorry, a lady from Metropolis that'll make him honest.
Mm-hmm.
That lady could be Lois Lane. Oh.
Yeah, I could see Diana Prince settling down.
She's from Washington.
I don't like Wonder Bats.
Are you gonna bring back freaking Steve Trevor again?
No. If they do
Just
that,
let her move on.
Let her
if
move
they
on,
do that,
man.
that
It's
is
the arms of the bat.
so
No, not the arms of the bat. Just another guy. Just some other random Chris Pine looking character. I don't care. Just not the Batman. I have an issue with I don't know what it is. Whenever I think of members of the Justice League dating Superman and Wonder Woman or Wonder Woman and Batman, I just cringe on the inside. I was
That was kind of weird, and it was Lois.
do these people not have their own individual social lives? Do they not have the people in their own lives outside the Justice League that they can date? Do they have to date other superheroes? I don't get that.
It's the soap opera. I mean, okay, two things.
But it's not a soap opera.
Hold on, wait. But Dawson, what you're mentioning right there is the problem that I have with Earth 2 Joker being Martha Kent. It's isn't there so many other people out there? Blah blah blah. Why does it have to be? That's the issue that I have with her. Is that it makes zero sense that. And what happened to the other guy, the one that was supposed to be the Joker? He just becomes nothing, and because the Joker essence or whatever is in her, that's stupid.
Do you have the same issue with Thomas Wayne as Batman?
I think Thomas Wayne. So okay. If it had been me back in I think the inception of that was in the 80s. But if he had come up with a different vigilante name, if he would just have been a vigilante to because his son got killed, but just not, maybe he didn't become the Batman. Maybe he became, a night hunter, and he doesn't have a cape and a cowl, but he still has that nature because, like Bruce Wayne, first Waynes were hunters or blah blah blah. So he goes and hunts criminals, and Martha maybe is an accomplice. She could be. I would be more willing to bend my suspension of disbelief if she were more of a Robin-esque type character, like somebody helping Bruce. They're both she's not going to go out there because she's not equipped, but just with the trailer. Yeah, she's the person in the ear, like Alfred. She takes the place of Alfred because Alfred is no longer needed.
Well, to be fair though, the whole Joker thing, Joker's whole mentality is it only takes one bad day, and so Martha's one bad day would be Bruce dying.
But Martha's one bad day should turn her into something else. It shouldn't be the Joker. And the Joker of that universe, maybe because he didn't beat Bruce, he didn't have the bad day, or no, but his bad day had nothing to do with Bruce.
Okay.
He became the Red Hood. And then he, did other things and he was, in the mob and all that. Anyway, aside from that, but that's the issue.
His bad day came the day his wife died, then he was also the Red Hood, then he was the Joker. Yes. But still, that's still
in
concept,
that universe. In that universe, the Joker would have just stayed the Red Hood because he never would have ran into Bruce, who dropped him in the vat. He just would have been a villain or a criminal or whatever, and that would have been his thing. And Thomas could have taken care of him in a different way, either killed him with his guns or, something else. Yes, the Joker became Zeeverfett. That's exactly how it is. So, but yeah, no. So
Ryan had one bad day with Warner Brothers taking down his shirts.
Dude, I kid you not. 30 of those designs got killed off by somebody. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, and usually those kind of happen because something gets released. And I want to say it's because of the Superman Lois. Somebody like started looking through the sites and was like, click, it's just like getting rid of a lot of people's stuff. And they just happen to get on mine. They're like, oh shit, there's just a lot. So, but yeah, no. Okay. So Brian, Dawson and I have been kind of going back and forth. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think I'm not too versed in a lot of the Joker lore, as far as it were. So I think I with the Flashpoint, Martha Wayne, Thomas Wayne situation, I always thought that storyline was kind of odd, but I don't know. I just, I've always pictured Batman, Bruce Wayne, this, that, and the other thing. So it's like I'm still kind of getting used to the whole different Earths and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, all right.
I do have a question though. I'm trying to remember because I don't think they ever said in the Flashpoint story, but did they ever actually call Martha's character Joker, or is it just?
I don't believe they ever referenced. All she kind of had the green hair and she was pale, and she put blood on her mouth, much like Jared Leto. But it's like never
similar properties, of course, but I don't think they ever called her Joker specifically.
Right. She was just laughing hysterically, but she sort of, you could tell that she was the Joker of that universe. I don't know in the comics. I think in the animated Flashpoint movie, they never called her the Joker. She just laughed and had the smile and she was just sort of
and
like
just simply snapped.
And then snapped, and then that was it. And we never saw her again. Like we never saw her and Thomas fighting or anything like that in that story. So I'm sure that maybe in the comics they did. I don't know if anybody's read the comic, the Flashpoint comic series. Let me know if they did reference her ever as the Joker, because I'm not sure. I couldn't, but even like Gavin Cooley said, Harley became Yo-Yo. She became someone else. She was still, nuts. But it wasn't the Joker that made her nuts. It was her own, thing, and she came up with it. But it's interesting with that one because she was Dr. Harleen Quinzel. What would have taken her to that extreme to do something else? I think, like you said earlier, Dawson, it's like, don't they have a larger pool of people to come, to pull from? Couldn't they have just made ancillary characters that aren't, it's not like, oh, it's Lana Lang from the different universe, or no, like what's his face, not Perry White, but the photographer, Jimmy Olsen. So in that one, Jimmy Olsen could fly, and he was, super buff and all that. I'm like,
oh, and Crisis on Two Earths.
Yeah, and I was why does Jimmy have to still be somebody? I mean, couldn't he have just been a normal guy and he just worked? He worked a different job. He worked in a coffee shop.
Could have been a different version. Jimmy Olsen didn't make great choices and didn't go to college or something, like some bum on the streets or something like with small choices that led to not being the same person.
Right. No, and I completely agree. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so Jimmy Olsen, perfect example. In the main narrative, he has rapport with Superman. In this other narrative, he has rapport with Ultraman. And it's like,
he has a thing for powerful beings. What can I say?
Yeah. Somehow he meets these people.
Magnetic.
Through his different choices. Somehow he's magnetized to meet these people or these individuals or whatever. It's odd to me. I think it's just like it's just a room full of nerds. They're like, oh man, make Lois Lane the new Dark Side. Oh, what? Yeah. Just like, and they go nuts and they make it.
And if anybody asks any questions, just call it the Speed Force.
Crime Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate. Okay, so that is Earth 3, right? That's Ultraman, Owlman. So I like Owlman being Thomas Wayne Jr. That is because it's a different universe. So Martha and Thomas would have maybe had relations at different times. So that would have been a different sperm. So that would have been Thomas instead of Bruce, and maybe they never have Bruce, in that universe. And that's fine. For him to become Owlman, I don't know. It just depends on like what exactly happened to make him Owlman.
Did he fall into a nest of owls?
That's the Court of Owls.
So the Court of Owls.
Oh, yeah,
so they're heavily connected in the Court of Owls. And so, I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic scenario. I like stories to have, interesting connections, not just substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just want to see a substitution. Like in this universe, Aquaman is evil, and so is Wonder Woman, and they don't have a reason why. But I do like that Atlanteans and Themyscians go to war, battle, or whatever. I like certain aspects of it. Not every aspect,
but it's like
there are certain things that I can nitpick.
It's like the original Star Trek, where your alternate universe is just everybody has a goatee.
Yeah,
it's the goatee universe. So okay, we'll talk about this. My choice is number one. I'll give you two. Number one, my top is Orion, Darkseid's son. My second is Green Lantern, but John Stewart. Even though we already had John Stewart in BVS. What do you think?
What do you mean John Stewart in BVS?
Yeah, we already had John Stewart.
Where?
I thought BVS was your favorite movie.
It is my favorite movie. So what?
So you tell me, where's John Stewart in BVS?
Hell if I know.
Brian, I turn to you, Brian.
Standing in front of the giant lantern? I'm not sure.
No. Okay, anybody in the chat? Where is John Stewart in the movie Batman vs Superman?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He actually in the movie? Is this like a general?
John Stewart is in the movie, and he plays himself.
Kind of character. Oh.
So I didn't. No, not the history lesson. It's Fatal J. No,
there's no history lesson.
So John Stewart is on the television, and he's talking about a segment. I think they're referencing Superman, but he plays himself, and so yes, John Stewart's in the movie.
Wait, what? Hold on.
The Daily Show.
The Daily Show.
John Stewart.
He's in the movie. It's John Stewart. It's in the movie.
The actual John
Stewart.
Stewart.
Come on.
The comedian.
Come on.
Man, you actually looked it up.
He actually looked it up.
Man, that is the dumbest. Oh my gosh.
Am I lying? Am I lying?
You were inferring the Green Lantern one. You were inferring the Green Lantern one.
No, I didn't. I just said John Stewart.
You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing.
But yes, John Stewart is in the movie.
A John Stewart, not the John Stewart.
He's the John Stewart.
He's
the other one's a John Stewart. John Stewart is the real John Stewart. That's an
the John Stewart is the one that's supposed to be in a DC world. Another John Stewart is just some guy on freaking TV that I don't ever watch. Not gonna lie, I never knew that was that guy's name.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Boom.
I can't
see. That's why you come to my stream, because I just drop the knowledge. I drop the knowledge on you.
It's not the knowledge anyone cares to know, but okay.
But you don't want to know that John Stewart's in BVS?
Not
your favorite movie?
Not the stupid newscast person. I don't care about that one.
He's the John Stewart of our world.
Oh my gosh.
He was in Big Daddy.
Not my John Stewart.
He was in Big Daddy. I actually liked him in Big Daddy.
Not my John Stewart.
Not my John Stewart. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go with Dawson this time.
So my pick for the cameo, or I guess who I think will be the cameo, is one of two things. The first one could be Martian Manhunter, because the writer of the article could have simply not known that fans knew that Martian Manhunter was going to be in the movie. And you also have the line that Zach showed on Vero where for Martian Manhunter that says there's a war coming. And that sounds like to me like an end of the movie type of line, like hinting at things to come. That sounds like to me. But the flip side of that could be, like you said, Ryan, Green Lantern. Do I think it's Jon Stewart though? I don't know, unless they like do a full CGI character, just simply show him over the shoulder, right?
I'm sorry if it's I'm sorry if it's Green Lantern. I want to say Avon Sur would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that way, because the problem is Zach is in, and that's why Jared Leto's in the film, because he was already under contract. They didn't cast a Green Lantern for the film, so they can't add somebody else because they've already made negotiations, paid people again for because it's a separate film pretty much. So if they did Avon Sur, that's just a CG character, and
exactly.
All they need to do is get a voice actor, and there you have it. Or supply the voice himself. Zack Snyder could supply the voice.
Or simply just have them standing there without saying a word, and then you don't have to hire a voice actor, and you still have the character's effect at the end of the film. Which we
so I mean, like maybe the ship crash lands, and he kind of like stumbles out, and then his ring goes off of his body, and then that's sort of the it.
That could be
that's
possible.
It's interesting, but. I would say either that or Orion. Orion's coming in because he has to talk about his dad. Hey, you just faced, you haven't faced this guy yet because you faced off, my uncle, which is Steppenwolf. So, or my great uncle. In this universe, in Zack Snyder's universe, is Steppenwolf still Darkseid's uncle, or is he his brother? I can't recall how they're. Sort of their family dynamic is in this. This would also be cool too if it was Sinestro.
It says here that Steppenwolf is the new god who is the younger brother of Hegra and the uncle of Darkseid.
But
in this one, it seems like, of course, Steppenwolf is lower than Darkseid, so maybe he's Darkseid's nephew.
No. Okay, so Steppenwolf became under Darkseid because Darkseid, became more powerful, but also But also Steppenwolf screwed up at some point, and he's trying to make it up to his nephew.
Right.
So the power dynamic is a little bit off in that, but so got a lot of good ideas in the chat. Brian, which is right here.
Well, I'm gonna take the stab at the Martian Manhunter one because I think that was more directed towards the general people who are gonna be like, oh wow, you know what I mean?
General readers of Vanity Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, because they don't know what we know,
which does make it weird that they said hardcore fans minds will be blown. Just like,
but again, this could be written by somebody that's disconnected from comics and stuff like that. So they're like, hardcore fans. They're putting it in there because that's how they see it.
At the same time, though, like this writer of the article did do a lot of good research for this. So like you'd figure at some point maybe they'd have run into the idea that fans knew about Martian Man. I don't know. It's a complicated one because, like, again, we just don't know the knowledge level of the writer of the article.
So I have to address Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a troll, but he's not lying to us about being in the film because he was never contracted for this film.
No.
Yeah.
So because he was never contracted for this film, it's closed. It's a closed set. It's closed off.
And one thing people don't understand is that, like you mentioned, Ryan, is that Jared Leto was already like in a contract where he could appear in Justice League.
He was supposed to be in Justice League 2.
Right. So he was already
he had already signed. Right. He had already signed on.
So it wasn't like it's not like they're like, oh hey, like dude, come be this unexpected thing in here and like. We'll sign you and do all these things. So again, them bringing him in is a different conversation than bringing Ryan Reynolds in and being Green Lantern, which would be a whole different contractual mess. Like that'd be a headache. Plus, again, there's so many people that keep saying that Zach wanted Ryan Reynolds. I am very certain he didn't.
That's not his MO. He doesn't hire people other than like Ben Affleck. But Ben Affleck is for Batman, and that was a different setup. You don't hire someone that already has, I don't want to say baggage, but he had already shat on Green Lantern during
literally-
his Deadpool time.
He literally
right?
shot himself in the movie
as
before he
a
signed-
troll, right?
Yeah, as a
troll
troll,
move, making fun of it, making light of it, because he knew that the overall general pop that watched Green Lantern didn't like what they saw, and therefore, wouldn't be palatable in a Zack Snyder film, and Zack Snyder would not go into a film like that and just say, you know what, let's change the perception. This is a PR move. We're gonna fix your rep as Green Lantern. I'm gonna do you right. Let's erase that version of Green Lantern from existence. The only way, and I've always said this, there's two ways. The only way that Ryan Reynolds would ever come back as a Green Lantern would be two ways. One, this new Flash movie, because it's a multiverse movie, and that would be one of the multiverses, because they're going back into Batman 89. They're going. I'm assuming they're going into Chris Reeve territory, perhaps. They're bringing in this new Supergirl from another franchise. They're going into the CW for Grant Gustin. So that would be a way of seeing. That would be, and of course, Ben Affleck from the Snyderverse. That would be a way of seeing Ryan Reynolds again as a Green Lantern from a different universe. The only other way that I could ever see Ryan Reynolds coming back to be a Green Lantern is if he comes back and does work for his friend Dwayne Johnson as the Justice Society's Green Lantern, Alan Scott.
I can see that. That would make sense to me.
Well, and if we are going to get a lantern, I think it's going to be a CG one. Like you said, it'd be a lot easier to just, create like Kilowog or something. You know what I mean? Like somebody that all you have to do is provide a voice for.
Yeah.
And
that's why I like the idea of Sinestro being a Green Lantern and being in the franchise. But again, you'd have to hire an actor, because Sinestro is too important of a character to just we'll just see him.
Well, not only that, but
with Abin Sur. With Abin Sur, they could easily just create an alien. A CG alien, much like you said, Kilowog and what was the other one? Tomar-Ray, something like that. That would be an interesting way, and say, oh, okay, you know what? Because Zack Snyder does say that Hal Jordan does exist in this universe. They're like, is Green Lantern, is Hal Jordan here, or is he in another location? Zack said he's in another location. He exists in another location. So we know that Hal Jordan exists and is alive somewhere in this universe.
Yeah,
we
like
just
a
don't
test
know
pilot
where.
or something. He hasn't got the ring yet.
He could be that, or he could be an Alpha Lantern, like off-world, doing his own thing, and that's why Jon Stewart would be the way to go. Because you already got, what's her name, Carol Ferris, that she's a major now. So she's ranked up, and she's hanging out with Martian Manhunter. So I could see how they would bring back, because for me, I think that Hal Jordan wouldn't be a young guy. Hal Jordan would be older, like Ben Affleck. He wouldn't be young like Cyborg, Flash. Who else was young? Even Cal. Possibly Cal's age. But I think that Hal Jordan in this universe would be an older fellow.
I can agree with that. Yeah. It would be kind of cool if Zach did like a Kingdom Come version of Green Lantern, where he's like older and he has like armor and a sword. That'd be dope. Yeah,
that would be dope. I know that he wanted to have Green Lantern in the film, whether it was in the futures, the nightmare sequences, because that's where he would naturally fit. Because naturally, if the story progresses, the Green Lanterns are going to join the fight.
Yeah.
But again, what the problem with that is that Zach put out these things, with the symbols before the Snyder Cut was officially greenlit, officially back on the slate to be completed. So it was probably still his, because he was going to complete the movie no matter what. He had already filmed Harry on green screen, and he had already filmed Ezra virtually.
Yeah.
So he was going to complete this thing no matter what. So he didn't care. And I think that he would have if the
Why do
studio
you
had
think
not
Warner Bros. Is so
greenlit
mad
it.
at him?
Yeah, yeah. Warner Brothers was still peeved. If they had not, greenlit it, I think that he would have filmed his Green Lantern. And it's possible he could have already filmed his Green Lantern. He just has to fight to get the Green Lantern in the movie or to be seen in the movie because, again, he wasn't under contract, this particular person. So very interesting.
Kind of interesting to see if they did something off the wall, though, too. Like just something that would actually surprise even us. Like
it would be. I'd love to see something, off the wall.
I'm just trying to think of who would be that would just like be a total mind blow. Like,
I mean, there's Hawk Girl. You can always do Hawk Girl.
You could do, but I don't know if that would blow people's mind. It would have to be something huge.
mm-hmm.
It would have to be something like that the general audience and comic book fans would recognize and instantly like shock them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it would be Nightwing.
No, well, that can't be the case.
Yeah.
No,
but he would definitely shock everybody.
Because he's dead.
So,
he's
Chris
dead.
O'Donnell at the end in the Robin suit from freaking Batman.
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah.
Batman and Robin.
The
Oh,
multiverse. Jeez.
And there's also a possibility that we're overlooking this, and it could just be a simple like Green Lantern or Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is, but I'm just kind of like feel.
Oh, another one that would be awesome that I just remembered
speculation,
about was Dr. Manhattan. That would be like
Crossover.
because it's Watchmen. That's another, Zack Snyder, and they also have Billy
Crudup.
As Barry's father. So he's already under contract. He could easily, walk in with his penis out and say, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be pulling a doomsday clock kind of thing like Jeff Johns' book. So.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't do anything nice for Jeff Johns.
No.
There we go.
No.
Cheetah. That's right, Nicotina.
Cheetah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Cheetah.
she comes back in. Good job, Andre.
She'd be the apex predator. She always wanted to be.
Yeah. God, I don't know, but it would. He said a hero, so it wouldn't be anybody. It wouldn't be a villain. It would have to be a hero.
Right.
So the Atom is in it, but I don't think that people are really going to care about the Atom.
Shazam.
That is one theory that I've heard a lot is the Atom, because again, Ryan Choi's in it. So like I could see that being a possibility.
It could be, but I don't think that would be like that hardcore fans would lose their mind or shit their pants about. I mean, I think that it would have to be somebody significant that we're overlooking or not. Again, easiest option is Martian Manhunter. That's the easiest option.
Yes. And that's one that's most feasible with the story that we know of.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like
Kara would be amazing too. And it would be amazing if it were this Kara.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be something. If it were her, that's fine. That's fine as well. But that would definitely invigorate
that would have
people.
to be showing a lot of foresight though, because he did photography a while back. So
it would. Not to say that they haven't had this Flash script in the can for a while though.
Right, the script, but like that would mean that Andy Muschietti had this cast for several months and then just announced it recently. Like I feel like that's very unlikely.
I mean, to be honest with you, it was a call. It could have been pre-recorded.
Oh,
and they could have just been holding off until some news came out and then they just released it.
I feel like it's a big secret to
we
keep,
come up
though.
on Constantine, but all we see is the back of his shoulder and a lit cigarette.
That'd be funny.
But yeah, no,
It's just Zack Snyder in an overcoat and a trench coat.
That'd be
it would
funny
be
if
Michael
Zack
Fassbender.
if Zack Snyder played Constantine.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
That'd be hilarious.
yeah, that would. He looks the part.
He'd love it.
I don't know
too.
that he can do the accent though. He's like,
Oh yeah.
Helicopter.
it's gonna be that guy.
it'd be like ADR. It'd just be dialogue replacement.
Yeah. So moving into the Flash movie, which is going to be incredible.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. What
It's
are
incredible.
your thoughts of the Flash movie post Supergirl announcement? Like, I made this little image a while ago, and I figured this was cluttered enough.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be oversaturated with cameos and heroes and all that?
Well,
go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say something about the timing of this, like my conspiracy brain. So we're all Ray Fisher supporters, and we all know that like they kind of wrote him out, but at the same time, it's like, did they replace his character with Supergirl?
I don't think they replaced his character, but I do believe that they tried to, because and I said this on someone else's show.
It's just my tinfoil hat. Like, I'm like,
my tinfoil hat says this is what happened. So Ray Fisher says Walter Hamada has come and apologized to me, but he hasn't apologized to everybody else. And also, I put a statement out that said that I'm not going to work on any project that has Walter Hamada attached to it. The Flash does not have Walter Hamada attached to it. Yet he got an email from Warner Brothers stating that he had been, that they're not going to move forward with him being in the film. So he put that out on social media. So already the Flash has bad press, even before they shoot one thing. They've already got Keaton's Batmobile. They've already got his costume ready. They've already got everything that they need for Ben Affleck. The new suit for Ezra Miller. Physical suit. They've got everything ready to go, and they're already starting off with bad press. So what do? Combat the bad press with Boss Logic. Put this out for us. Let's do this. Because they've never done this little thing before that Muschietti did, as far as like, hey, let's do a Zoom call and get your reaction for getting this part. When have they done this with anybody else? Any other part, even for this movie here?
Yeah, right. Never.
Yeah,
so it's like,
so they do that
PR swing,
right? A PR swing to build rapport and get it back onto a positive note because it was on a negative note. So, have we forgotten about Ray? Personally, us, no. But has the general population forgot about Ray? Probably. Mm-hmm. If he was ever on their radar.
Yeah.
Nerdy, what do you think?
So, like, am I just answering a question of like conspiracy theories? Like, what exactly is the question?
No. Go.
Let me know what I'm answering here.
Exactly. No. So basically, what is your thoughts on why this was handled the way it was? Why was it that Muschietti came out and did this thing that no one else has ever done, and sort of had Sasha on the call and showing off the Superman costume and doing all that after the bad press of Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher still hasn't gotten his apology from Hamada for the other people. He's only got a personal apology, and he's still saying, "Hey, wouldn't it be? Today's a great day for an apology, Walter. What do you think?" And he still hasn't gotten that yet, right? So because he hasn't gotten that, and we have negative press on the Flash movie even before one frame of the film has been shot. What do you think about the announcement of Supergirl?
So, okay, yeah, I understand that. So, my thing is that we've seen a lot of articles, right, trying to bash Ray for a while. Like, every time he'd come up with a statement, there'd be some article about some news, most of it being bogus, some of it being, like, partially true, just to try to get the audience excited and to ignore what Ray was saying. And so, if it was like that, if this information was just simply released in an article like that, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. But the fact that Muschietti did this, like, via video call with Sasha Calle, like, I'm less in the whole conspiracy theory mode with that. Just because, like, yeah, it was a very sweet video. Like, it was a very genuine freak out reaction from Sasha, at least to me personally. And so I just thought it was kind of cool. I mean, yes, it is a little suspicious as to why they did that specific thing. Because, like, Andy Muschietti, he does know that his movie's getting bad press. And no director wants to have that happen before they even start, going on set and filming. No director wants that because that's your worst nightmare.
Oh,
that means
it's already in his hands too.
Yeah, I mean, it's already an uphill battle. So, like, obviously, yes, he's trying to get the movie back in the good graces of the fans and try to get people excited about it again because, again, it's his movie. It's his baby, right? He wants people to be excited about it because, when you make a movie about The Flash, You don't want to just like dwell on the negativity that surrounds it. You want to make it a positive experience for people, even if like the studio is being a bunch of, you know, douchebags about it. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, like, you think about it, like, you know, before all this was out, we're like, some of them were like, oh, we're not going to watch the Flash movie. It's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. And, you know, so it's like, I don't know. I'm interested, but I'm going to be very cautious about it. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
It should be pretty good, though.
I concur. Ryan, you're muted.
I've been agreeing with you guys the whole time.
Sure. You just muted yourself so you could tell us how you really felt.
Yeah, he's just sitting over there while you're on the screen going,
mother. You guys are falling. So Bad Take Ryan says he. Moving on. So yeah, I mean,
that ball size 69. Hey.
I don't think that it was Muschietti's idea. I think somebody prompted him to do it from the studio because it just seems like since last summer it has been Frosty the Snowman, Ben Affleck being in the Flash movie, you know, the Green Lantern, you know, show, and just they keep trying to throw different things, you know, out there to
Michael
sort of
Keaton,
like
all that other crap.
Yeah,
you know?
Michael Keaton, you know, becoming, you know, Batman again or whatever, and all these different things that sort of try to sway the general consensus or attention of the populace to these things that they consider to be positive and take focus away from the negativity that is being brought up by Zack Snyder's Justice League and the people involved.
Mm-hmm. It's spin, basically.
It's spin. It's spin. And I clearly see that. That's yes.
And I think that's a fact that like terrifies Warner Brothers because they realize that fans are noticing like PR spin more and more. Like they're not like it's not fans,
subtle.
Right. It's not like the fans were ever like stupid, but like the fans are more informed and more aware of the tactics now.
Right. They know what to look out for now.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the veil is slowly being lifted. Like same thing with the news outlets. And I don't want to get too political here, but I mean, if you're watching CNN or if you're watching Fox News, you know that every single person on both stations is an actor.
Oh yeah.
They're there. They're beautiful people, a lot of them. And that's how you sway people is you get them to listen to you and explore whatever narrative, but they have a script that they need to follow, and they have spins that they do.
And it's every single program.
They want to create narratives, and that's the same thing that's happening with Warner and with us. This movement outside of that engine. Mm-hmm. We're going us on the panel. Ray Fisher, Zack Snyder, we're all going against the grain, and they're like, man, they're really getting a lot of eyes on this. How do we spin and keep things, how do we keep the ball in our court?
Mm-hmm. Essentially, people watching, like, no matter what kind of news program or news outlet you go to, there's always a narrative of some kind. There's always
agenda, narrative, exactly.
There's always something they want to make you think, right? I mean, they'll give you information that's, of course, true in order to back up their argument to a certain extent, but they'll always twist it in their favor. That's always how it works. That's why, like, when it comes to any, like, news outlet or anything, I always question what I hear. I always question
every time. You should.
Every single time. Because if you don't, then you just accept anything.
The question is, what do they want me to think?
Right. And what should I think? What is actually true here?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
I'm glad y'all agree.
Yeah, Emmerich and Hamada sitting Christina Hodson and Andy Muschietti and telling them, hey, let's add Supergirl. I don't know. I know that I mean, I'm not generally happy with their pick as Christina Hodson. I've heard that she's getting a lot of help because, again, she's still wet behind the ears. She's not a seasoned writer. She's written some things that some pretty, high dollar, ventures. but for her to take on the Flash, I don't know. I'm not
especially with how complex of a story a Flash story is going to be.
Exactly.
Interweaving timelines.
Exactly.
And things to do with like physics and time travel. What's up, Hussein?
Yeah, Hussein's in the chat. He joined in. He has a point here I wanted to bring up. I'm generally worried with the critics seeing the movie next week, and Warner Bros. Already working to derail Zack. I wouldn't be surprised if major plot points leak. Now, the thing about this here is that weren't we told that they weren't going to have a screening?
Well, they had. Yeah, now they're going to have the one guy who Zack's interviewing with. Which, like, that was a big thing for me, is I was super happy that they said they weren't going to have any, like, screenings. Which, what I think they meant by saying they're not going to have any screenings is that they're not going to have, like, big, like, sample audiences, right?
Yeah, they're going to have blue checks watch it.
Yeah, they're going to have only critics, which is the worst, honestly.
It is the worst, because they're the worst types of people in the universe.
I know.
They should not be allowed to see the film. They should be able to allow to see the film after all of us have already seen the film. You know, like after the whole populace, because then what they should do is they should what do you call it? Throttle their internet service. You know, throttle their HBO Max service for their account, and chain them to their beds at their homes, and let us all watch it for 4 hours, and then after that, let the retards come out, watch the shit, and tell us how bad it is.
Because it's the same thing with, like, news networks. Critics also form a narrative. And the thing is that a lot of people are, you know, they essentially themselves be controlled by what critics say.
Yeah.
Like what Rotten Tomatoes says. And there's so many people that I know who are like, well, if it has a good score on Rotten Tomatoes, then I'll go see it. But if it doesn't, then I won't go watch it. I'm just like, but see, the thing is that critics don't get it right every time. In fact, there's a lot of times where critics get it dead wrong. Like, a lot.
Well, that's because it's a circle jerk for critics. You know, they're just there to pretend like there's some form of uppity, you know, personality that people, you know, hang on their every word. And what's funny about this is that, you know, the populace, like we've said, you know, they're sort of we're becoming more and more aware of their tactics. Why is it that people still listen to them? Why is it that we have these soft-brained individuals that still go to Rotten Tomatoes and read the reviews? Granted, I know some of the critics that are on Rotten Tomatoes, and you're not one of the people that I'm talking about. Love you, but I'm talking about the majority of the negative, trash-talking critics that just go on there because they have the access, or they have the check.
And you notice that all the negative points that critics make, as well as bloggers and YouTubers, are the same exact points that people end up making in conversations on social media, because they get those narratives and those ideas from said bloggers and critics. They don't form their own cohesive argument for why they think the film is quality or not. They only spew out what they've heard because they think that person is smarter than them.
They think that they're smarter. They want to echo what they're saying, so that they, you know, sort of
seem like they know what they're talking about.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, but the giants are morons.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, I mean, you already have bloggers like with the Superman and Lois show saying that, you know, this Superman's better than Henry Cavill. You know what I mean? It's like,
so I have a
this
bone.
Has to be it. The cameo is Joss Whedon.
Did you see that though? I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, oh, get out of here, dude.
Asking for forgiveness, please.
There was one thing, and this is not a spoiler of the show. This is just like the making of the show thing that came out right after the episode, is that the actor for one of Clark Kent's boys, Jordan, I couldn't tell if it was a slight or not, but it really felt like a slight, because it went to him after all the people, and he's like, it's a modern Superman done well. And that was his facial expression. That was his head movement, like leaning forward. Like, I couldn't help but sit there and think, like, is that a slight towards something your boss Jeff Johns doesn't like?
Is he sitting down the other side of the camera going, yes, yes?
Pretty much. That's what it felt like to me. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. This light is dangling.
Well, let it dangle, man. I mean, sometimes you just gotta let it dangle.
I'm tempted to just take these lights down because they just don't stick to the shelf.
So what you need to do is get some cement, cement glue, and just
Why
glue.
do you say it like that? Cement glue.
Cement glue.
Why are you saying what way?
I know. What are you saying?
I'm saying cement. That's how you say cement.
Why?
Because that's why I want to say it. Cry.
Cool Whip.
Whipped
Cream. Cement. So we say cement. So, I mean, you say tomato, I say tomato. You know, you say potato, I say potato.
You just say the opposite of what I say because you want to be weird and you want to cause tension and awkwardness.
Cement glue. There you go. Katsuki has it. Cement glue.
Rubber cement.
Cement glue.
Rubber cement. Rubber cement.
Rubber cement.
Smells good.
Cement glue.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So
that's why.
Thank you. Thank you, Ralph.
No, he was making a point for me.
No,
Ryan.
No, it was a point for me.
No.
Thank you, Ralph.
That's not how this works.
See, I've now cemented him.
Now you say it right, you douche. You guys can just look at my logo for a little bit.
Never said tomato or potato.
You see, you sound so unnatural saying that. So there's no way you actually say it that way.
Potato.
Potato.
I like potato fries.
It's not like people who say pop instead of soda. You know what I mean?
Like soda pop. It's soda pop. Or, see, when I was a kid, I used to call it all Coke, regardless. I was like, I'm going to go get a Coke. Even though I didn't go get a Coke, I got like a Dr. Pepper or whatever, but it was a Coke. And my grandmother would always call it soda water. And I was like, yeah, it's soda and it's water, but why do you got to call it soda water?
I've lived all over the United States. I've lived in places where they call it soda. I've lived in places where they call it Coke. I've lived in places where they call it pop. And my consensus after all the places I've lived is soda. It's called soda. I'm sorry to all people in South Dakota. I'm sorry to all people in South Dakota who kept trying to convince me that it was pop. It's not pop. I'm sorry.
It's soda pop.
Oh, you got to go down to the store and get some pop, don't you know?
Get some soda.
soda cola.
Soda
don't
cola.
You know?
Soda cola.
Don't you know?
That's what they call it in DC. They call it soda cola.
Hey, you got to go for the South Dakota Coyotes, don't you know? Or the South Dakota State Jackrabbits.
Sorry to offend the people of South Dakota.
Yeah,
okay.
we're sorry to offend South Dakota.
My grandpa's a professor at the University of South Dakota, so he doesn't care.
So have you ever
Never have I ever.
Never have you ever. Okay. Okay. Got it. So what are you looking forward to most now that you've heard this announcement of Supergirl for the Flash movie? Are you interested? Are you more interested in the story? Are you less interested in the story? Are you worried that it's going to be convoluted with so many characters, like just crammed in there? Do you think that the Supergirl is going to be evil? Do you think the Supergirl is going to be good? Do you think the Supergirl is going to be aware of Henry Cavill's Kal-El? Brian.
Well, that's a lot to digest.
That's like 7 questions all wrapped into one.
Yeah, it is.
As far as being interested, yeah, I'm always going to be interested in seeing another comic book movie. It doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, so
I always say the best sequences is the Pena recounting. That stuff is so funny to watch.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
I mean, I would literally screw WandaVision, get that shit out of here. I would watch a show of those guys, those 3 guys.
Yes. Give me
have them recount things as well during the story. Oh God, it'd be
like have that be the beginning of every episode is them recounting what happened in the previous one.
Yes. Oh, it'd be so funny.
You know, it was super fine, right?
Yes, super fine.
But no, I'm really interested to see. Hopefully, they will, do a good job of tying everything together. Like the rug in, the Big Lebowski, the rug in Big Lebowski's living room.
Oh
really
yeah.
Really
that was
the room
a rug.
together.
That was a carpet.
Yeah,
or
rug.
It was a rug. Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay. But soda. I mean, I think as long as they tie everything together, I'm down.
Okay.
I do think it's going to be a little convoluted with everybody in there. We're probably going to see maybe like 5 minutes of Wonder or Supergirl. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, hey,
It might, yeah. She's just like flying. She's like,
all you see is a sonic boom, boom, boom.
yeah, and that's it. I mean, to be honest, like it might not be a lot of screen time. Like Frank is talking about here. You know, how long is the screen arc? Does she have an arc? Are there any plans for future films past the Flash? It's hard to know. I mean, and that's intriguing because what it does, what I like to do, and Dawson likes it as well, and I'm sure you do as well. And what everybody in the chat likes to do is speculate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like to speculate. Where could it go? Possibilities are endless.
They don't like long movies too, so it's like, you know, how are they gonna cram that?
Yeah. Because exactly.
Time, you know?
I mean, they tried to cap it off at 2 hours. They don't like long movies apparently. So I mean, they're gonna cram the hell out of this thing. And is it gonna be any good?
It's gonna be Rise of Skywalker. It's gonna be like the whole trilogy in one movie.
It's gonna be super fast paced. It's not gonna give you enough time to like stop. It's just gonna be like, okay, that sucked.
Chewie!
Yeah, and like Nicotina was telling me earlier, is like, yeah, John Boyega as Jon Stewart. I was like, so he's gonna stop in from the Star Wars franchise yelling Ray, and then he's gonna go into the DC universe and yell Ray to Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
Two different
on
Rays.
set, of course.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, it's open for plenty of cameos. What about your thoughts on that, Dawson?
So, I mean, with this casting of Supergirl, like, I'm intrigued, but like, I'm not super like invested at the moment.
You're not super invested in Supergirl?
Not at the moment, no.
Is that a super
I
no?
think she'll probably. I mean, if she ends up being from another world, like that'd be cool. It'd be fine. I don't think she'll have a ton of screen time because again, you have all these different characters. But at the same time, though, I feel like the Flash is kind of having the same issues, like press wise, as the Spider-Man 3 movie, and them saying like, "Oh, this person's cast, this person's cast, this person's cast, this person's cast." Everybody that's ever been in a Marvel or DC movie is casting this thing. You know, I feel like it's suffering from that same thing. So we might not get nearly as many characters as maybe we are fearful they might. In this movie, which I think would be a good thing. I think the Supergirl will be like there for a little bit to maybe help them out in their mission. I think maybe this Supergirl could be connected to. It could be connected to Christopher Reeve's Superman. We were talking about that Christopher Reeve connection. Like how?
Well, they already had that Supergirl.
Well, right, but that.
And she was connected to this Christopher Reeve,
right?
Movie
but like we all know that
Lana
movie.
Lang.
We all know that movie was god awful. So
and the what's his name, Jimmy Olsen, he was in that movie. No, I understand. You know,
they could have it to where it breaks off from the second movie and not like the third and fourth, and then the Supergirl movie. Like they can have it some way to where it actually connects to the the good Christopher Reeve movies, right? They could have it do that.
I love
way.
all the Christopher Reeve movies.
Man, if they cast John Cryer, I'm walking out.
They already did. He's in the CW.
Damn it!
But like, as far as this movie is concerned, like at this point in time, again, like you said, there's a lot of bad press, so it's not the movie that I'm like super stoked about.
Yeah.
Like when it comes out, I'll go see it and watch it and give my thoughts, my honest opinion. But like, it's not one I'm just like gonna be running into the theater, finding a good seat, and just like sitting down, like, all right, let's get all the popcorn. I'm so excited for this. I'm so stoked. No, it's not gonna be that situation. It'll probably be like my feeling of going to the theater watching New Mutants. Like, well, this thing's finally out. Let's see if it actually turned out any good.
I don't know. I can't put this
not as
movie
bad,
on
not
that
as bad,
level
but
with the New Mutants.
I mean, not as bad, but like a similar feeling, right?
Well, like Dark Phoenix, you know, it was like, it was. Well, I don't know. That one was kind of like a funeral dirge at the end of the day, because you knew they were sold to Disney at the end of the day.
They were
so
done.
Like,
Yeah, they were done.
Yeah.
Except for Quicksilver.
Apparently.
I mean, but really, he's not Quicksilver.
Quick Mephisto.
He's could be Mephisto,
Hashtag
or it could
no
just be some guy
multiverse in
that they
WandaVision.
grabbed and sort of through magic gave him or imbued.
Imbued. But like,
him
I'm
with
gonna
the,
laugh
Super
so
Soldier.
hard. I'm gonna laugh so hard if Evan Peters is not actually a version of Quicksilver. I'm gonna laugh so hard because I called it.
If it was really Agatha all along, you're just like,
Yeah.
no.
A lot of people here are like, I totally called it.
I don't think I don't think he's going to remain in the MCU
No.
as Quicksilver.
No, I don't think so either.
See, I thought that, they brought him from another universe, but that he would return because of Doctor Strange. I never thought that he was the replacement for what's it, Aaron Taylor something?
Johnson, yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's a mouthful.
That sounds like a 90s sitcom name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
It's Aaron Taylor Johnson. Come on down. You got a free car.
And
Batting
Joseph
third
Gordon-Levitt.
Right?
It's Robin.
Yeah.
90s sitcoms, man. Third Rock from the Sun. There you go.
Hey, yep.
6 degrees of separation, guys. There's always.
I love Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, that was a great show.
It was a good show. I love John Lithgow. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Who's the guy that was like always squinting?
That
French
was
Stewart.
French Stewart. Yes.
Yeah, I loved him. He was great.
He was great in the movie. I mean, I'm sorry, in the TV show, but in any movie or any other part he's ever had, I've never really liked him.
Yeah,
Like he was even in like one of the Home Alones. I was like, this is
Oh god, it was awful. It was Home Alone 3.
bad.
Oh yeah, Home Alone 3. We don't speak of that one.
No.
I agree. I think that Aaron Taylor Johnson was a better Quicksilver. He just wasn't written good in the movie.
He wasn't written to be fast enough for what he should.
He got weeded.
I'm just not fast enough. He got weeded.
You didn't see that
He got weeded out.
You guys just didn't understand my movie, okay?
It's weird. Batflex with the wild card. Half of me thinks it's going to be Flash's 84, and the other half thinks it's going to be connected to the Snyderverse behind the scenes. Why would Batflex say yes? I think Batflex would say yes because it does have some sort of ties to, and I think that they are honoring the Muschietis are honoring Zack Snyder. Because if it was something slighted, something negative towards the Snyderverse,
he wouldn't do it.
He would not do it.
No, because he respects Zack too much.
Oh yeah.
And not only would he not do it, but Ray Fisher wouldn't be like, "Oh man, I missed out." Like Ray Fisher wants to be in the Flash movie. Ezra Miller, same thing. I don't think Ezra Miller would be like, "Dude, I'm not gonna sit there and punk on Snyder,"
right?
But yeah. So I think we're gonna call it quits there. I think that we had a fantastic discussion. I want to thank my panelists, Brian, Master of None, and Dawson, Nerdy in Many Ways. Where can we find you, Brian, as we close out? And please don't leave, guys. And I know that like as soon as like, oh well, we're done here, everybody's like, click. No. So where can we find you, Brian?
You can find me on my channel, Brian, Master of None. I keep saying I'm going to do some gaming streams, but I'm definitely going to do one tomorrow. I don't have anything planned, so we're working on an outro video too. So a little bit of fun on my side.
There you go. And Dawson, where can they find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Nerdy in Many Ways. Also on Twitter at NIMW32, as well as Instagram, and on Vero at Dawson Weidrich. Keep an eye out. We're getting close to finishing our What If Supergirl Was in the DCEU video, which is pretty exciting. I've also been working all day on my The Gray Explained video script, which I'm pretty stoked for. And we're having a live Q&A tomorrow at like 2:30 Eastern Time. So be sure to stop on by, ask your questions.
That sounds incredible.
It's incredible. And we also have Four Nerds tomorrow.
We do.
With Robert Meyer Burnett of the
None other than, like Nicotina says, none other than Robert Meyer Burnett.
I was watching some of his behind the scenes featurettes. I love those behind the scenes.
Jump in the chat. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. What was that, Brian?
Oh no, I was gonna say I mark out over his behind the scenes featurettes for the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
They're freaking amazing.
Yeah. No, he's a talented guy, very knowledgeable too. It's always fun. So yeah, check us out on the Four Nerds. Thursdays at 7:30 Eastern, and we will have Robert Meyer Burnett, none other than Robert Meyer Burnett, on the channel. I'd like to say thank you to all my Patreon members. Thank you so much. Your support is definitely appreciated and keeps the lights going on over here. Superman wins every time. And also, for those who did not get to see the first half of the broadcast, please go check out my Patreon store while these things are still up, because they are getting taken down left and right. So yeah, I mean, if you go to my Teespring and my TeePublic page, have a look, because a lot of the designs are being removed. If there is a design that you want, hit me up and let me know that, hey, you're ready to grab it. I'll put it up for you, send you the link. You go ahead and make the purchase. I'll take it back down because I don't want my account to be taken off. So, but I will work with you to get the shirt that you want, the design that you want on your shirt. No. And with that, gentlemen, that's it. I appreciate you guys, and have a good one.